Okay, so Samuel Leeds, one of the most infamous property gurus in the UK. This guy has nothing on Usman Lina. If you haven't watched that video, go and check it out, guys. I made that like over 6 months ago. Well, as I was doing my research on Samuel Leeds and I went on his website, I was greeted by this. Wait, free webinar if you are serious about building wealth with property. This webinar is a must watch and I lay out the blueprint to follow in 2025. You will not be disappointed. So like I'm sure everybody watching this video is thinking, I have to save my free spot. What? And I was greeted with this video. Limited spaces available. The secrets to becoming a property investor. We're going to take a look at this video that I haven't watched yet. This man was blamed for a soldier who spent £13,000 on his course, killing himself shortly after. He was called a scammer to his face by my boy Austin. Shout out to him.
I'm sat here with Samuel Leeds, the biggest scammer in the property space. I'm going to call him out on selling to vulnerable young people. It's got to stop. Samuel, you're in for it, bro. Let's go. Cool, let's go.
And my boy Poku Banks, currently known as Poku Facts because he's been spitting nothing but facts on his Instagram. Go and give him a follow if you haven't already. But my man Poku was ahead of the times because he saw this guy for what I also think he is, which isn't a scammer. I think he is a snake oil salesman. But the practices that he engages in are scammy practices, in my humble opinion. And he has recently moved his family to one of the worst places on earth, in my opinion, Dubai. The place full of snake oil salesmen, bro. Come on.
It's official. I am now a resident here in Dubai.
Oh my God. Dubai. The jokes write themselves, don't they? We're going to go over everything in this video. And there's also a portion of the interview that he did with Austin that is so freaking ridiculous. Like, he justifies selling a course that costs thousands of pounds to a 16-year-old. It's ridiculous. It's comedy. And you see with guys like this, all right, because he was meant to come on my show, my podcast, when I actually wanted to do it. Was going to organize a date, but ended up falling through because like we weren't free at the... I don't even remember how I ended up falling through. But when I was communicating with him, he kept saying debate, debate, debate. It's like, bro, I'm not trying to debate with you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Because with people like this, they're always prepared for debates because they're forced to be defensive because they know that their practices are unethical. You know, I'd say unethical. But like snake oil salesmen and car salesmen, you just need to speak to them. Don't debate with them because a debate is just who can get the best gotcha moment. Nah, I want to ask you about no money down deals. Because after my Usman Lina video, he said that he thinks I was a bit harsh on them and there are a few things he wants to, you know, talk to me about. And I said, that's fine. I don't want to debate you. I just want to talk to you from the perspective of somebody who has a lot to learn about the property game. I'll just want you to explain to me how me taking out an 8 grand loan or borrowing 8 grand, I mean, they say that his courses range from £12 or £1. That's how much he was charging for his, what do you call them? I forget the words. Seminars where you'll go there to learn about property when in reality, they're just trying to upsell you on one of these courses that can cost anywhere up to 12 grand from what I've seen. And tell me how I'll convince a landlord to let me and my bruck self sublet their property with no money down. So I'm going to have to do some work on this property, right? Unless I'm renting it to students, but then who wants students living in their house and then get the licenses required and do all of the other things when I'm bruck? I've just given you 8 grand. I've just borrowed money off of my mum. How is that going to be possible? I can't even afford the train fare to go and view this property. Like, that's why it's so ridiculous. You just have to let them explain it. Let them talk and then you'll see. But back to the free webinar that is going to be today at 12 p.m. London time. So he's moved to Dubai. He's made so much money off of property and that he's moved to Dubai, but he's still doing webinars online on how to get property. When he's even just done a sit down with Nigel Farage on GB News, and Samuel has been diving more into this grift, but he's obviously got to be a little bit more careful with it because his wife is black and obviously his children are going to be mixed race. And a lot of people who support Nigel Farage's views would call your children mud sharks or derogatory terms like that. But just because a lot of people on that side have these views, that doesn't mean that a lot of the things that they're saying are wrong. Just to give you guys some clarity. But in this clip, he kind of contradicts himself a little bit because obviously he's trying to sell you a property course, but he's on here saying how the current government is making it hard to be a buy-to-let landlord. But isn't that what your course is trying to get people to do, to get into property, to become landlords?
I had to change my entire business plan because it doesn't make sense. I mean, now if you've got 50 grand to buy a buy-to-let house and rent it out, it doesn't make sense. So no one's doing it.
And so what happens to those properties? You sell those properties on. Who buys them?
Usually big companies. I mean, Lloyds Bank are buying aggressively.
American private equity.
Yeah, BlackRock.
Yeah.
And these companies are literally taking all of the houses and they're demonising.
And this is how people like Samuel operate. They never directly answer the question. He said, well, who's buying up your properties that you're being forced to sell? Well, usually big companies, you know, and then it's like a preempted script in his head because he's always on the defensive because he knows what he's doing is unethical. That's just my opinion now, from what I can see. And Poku Banks, when he was a lot younger, a couple of years, well, quite a few years ago, when he sat down with Samuel, he brought up the question, are you making most of your money from property or selling courses? And the way he responded to that question that was asked by Nigel Farage, in my view, the way I view things supports what Poku Banks was saying, that he makes the majority of his money from selling courses, not from his actual property business deals. Because I'd expect the response to that to be, yeah, I just sold this 3-bedroom house I have up in Luton to this place and I just sold there to that. And like, that's what I would expect you to respond with. But hey, I could be wrong. I'll show you guys this clip from Samuel Leeds and Poku Banks' debate. And it was 4 years ago. Yeah, I disliked it as well because Poku's my boy. But we're seeing the same thing here. Poku asked him a simple question.
I don't even think it necessarily. Do you think it? Do you
It's not
think I'm a fake guru?
To understand.
Okay, how?
How many properties do you own?
Well, how many do I say? You said that when you say something...
How many properties do you own? I've asked a question.
How many properties do you own? Simple. How many properties do you own? If your main source of income is the property business that you do, the dealings that you do, how many properties do you own? It's not like America where we can check deeds and things like that. Nah, in the UK, you can't do that. Well, you can. There's unethical ways to check who owns houses. There are. But it's a simple question.
Well, I'm a developer. So I've done over 300 property deals.
Wait, 300 property deals?
Yeah, over 300.
You've done over 300
Yep.
properties? You
But
develop...
here's the thing. I am exactly...
And then he shows a statement from Company's House, showing that his company's got millions in assets. But remember, Company's House involves a lot of creative accounting, bro. It says the total capital and reserves is 2 million, but creditors amount falling due in 1 year is 2.4 million. Says he's got over 600k in cash. All this shows is the amount of assets that his company has. He still hasn't answered the question, how many properties do you own? And I'm sure Samuel has done a lot of deals. I'm sure he's done plenty of property deals. I'm sure he's very, very knowledgeable on the property game. When I watch his videos, bro, like he's someone who knows his stuff about property 100%. There's no doubts there. But if we go back to his webinar here, we haven't watched this video yet, but it says learn how you could retire in 5 years through property investing. And if we go to his site and we take a look at these no money down deal strategies, you can rent a property from a landlord and then rent that property out on a room by room basis. This is known as rent to rent. You have to find a landlord who doesn't want the hassle of managing their property and finding tenants. This is why estate agents exist, my guy. All right, you're misleading people. This is why estate agents exist, because they do all of that for you. And estate agents are established, bro. They're trustworthy. I'd rather go to an estate agent to rent out my property than go to somebody who's bought an £8,000 course after borrowing money from their mum, who has no bread and says, I want to do this with your property, I want to rent it out to students. Nah, you know what, bro? I'm just going to go to the estate agent, all right? Then you offer them a small guaranteed rent per month to take that stress away on the basis that you can let the rooms out by yourself. So you're not even going to give them the rent they would get if they were going to an estate agent. No, you're going to guarantee them an amount every month, even though you're broke yourself. And they'll only get what they would get if they went to an estate agent if you're able to rent out all the rooms and this goes well. Somebody with no experience. Now, if somebody like Samuel Leeds, who I know who says he's done this multiple times and has a lot of credibility in the property game, then yeah, as a landlord, I'll be more likely to say, yeah, Samuel, do your thing. Not if a 21-year-old fucking student wants to do it. Maybe I'll take a chance on them if I'm feeling nice, bro. But we're in a recession now, bro. All the indicators say we're in a recession. People are much less likely to take a chance on you, bro, unless you're kind of special, bro, unless you're kind of the exception to the rule like Samuel is. Well, that's the story he tells, and I'm going to go over it in a minute. Another strategy is a lease option agreement. Here's an example. Find a house worth £400,000 and offer to pay the owner 500k for it in 7 years' time. In exchange, you'll pay them a small monthly fee or simply take on their mortgage payments for them. So you, with no bread, is going to go to a homeowner and say, hey, listen, your house is worth 400k. In 7 years' time, I'll give you 500k. But the owner has no guarantee that you're going to have that 500k or you're not going to be legally forced to buy that house for $500,000. No. You just tell the homeowner, trust me, bro, give me the yard for 7 years. Let me pay you a small monthly fee and I'll give you 100 grand over asking price in 7 years' time. Trust me, bro. Or fuck it. For 7 years, me and my bruck self is going to take on your mortgage. I'll take on your mortgage and I'll pay you 100 grand over asking in 7 years. Come on, man. You just, like, it's think about it. But let's look at the best case scenario. Let's not always look at the negative. Let's look at it if things go well, all right? You're able to rent out the house. You find someone crazy enough to agree to this, all right? You rent out the house for 7 years. You're getting £300 more a month than what the mortgage is. So you're making £300 profit, all right? And let's ignore the fact that this person could have gone to an estate agent and found someone to rent it for that much themselves. So you're making £3,600 a year. You're a long way away from having £500,000. Maybe you'll be able to get a mortgage to buy the property in the future, but there's no guarantees. On your end of the deal, you don't have to buy the property at the end of the 7 years. The tenants stop paying rent. They stop paying their rent. And I'm telling you guys this from experience. I have a property with my dad. It's nothing crazy. I've had it with him for like 4 years now. Because when I was young doing my thing, my dad said, yo, let's make something so cool. I said, cool, Dad, I trust you. Yeah. We've had these tenants in there for years. They've been paying like half of what they should be paying for the whole of 2025, bro. They're not like them idiot tenants that just stop paying and keep. That will happen, bro. It happened to my uncle. It was hell. He had to go court, pay all these lawyer fees to get them out of his yard. My uncle was going through so much stress. But these tenants, they're just paying what they can. And we don't want to raise the rent. We don't want to do anything mad, but we're not going to get that money back, bro. And their contracts come to an end and my dad's given them an eviction notice. They're supposed to leave early next year. They don't have to leave the yard, bro. But we still have to cover this mortgage every single month, bro. We've been eating the losses this whole year. So if you're in this situation, what the frick are you going to do? They've stopped paying rent. Oh no, the boiler's broken down. You need to fix the boiler. Hey, there's mold here. Hey, this needs to be done. Hey, that needs to be done. Oh, they stopped paying rent. Finally got them out of the yard, man. Oh, freaking hell, they're finally out the yard. Oh, the yard is a pigsty. Oh, this is like 10 grand in repairs. You're in the hole, bruv. You're in the hole. Like, it's ridiculous. But option number 3, a third strategy is to find a house which needs major refurbishment and is for sale below market value. Borrow money from the bank to buy the house and then borrow money again to do the refurb. The value of the house is lifted and then you can just let it out. You're essentially buying the house using the bank's money. Come on, man. Samuel. And I've seen videos of him talking about getting bridging loans. Bro, since 2008, banks are very stringent on loaning out money. This is not an easy process. Keep in mind, you're broke. Is this possible? Yes. For someone like Samuel, is it easier? Absolutely. But trying to sell this idea that anyone can go ahead and do this and it's so easy for anyone to do it, that's where you become a snake oil salesman. Because is he telling lies? No, you can't call him a liar because he's not lying, because it is possible. But is it likely? No. And then after you've just borrowed money from your parents to buy this course, you're going to come back to Samuel and say, hey, I haven't made any money, this, that. Samuel just has to say, well, it's not going to work every time. No, you have to try this. You have to do that. You have to keep on trying. The blame is going to be put on you and not him for selling you his course. And there shouldn't be any blame on him because he's just doing business. He's a businessman and I rate that side of him. Hey, my brothers and sisters, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, I'd appreciate it. If you're enjoying, thank you. Cheers. God bless you regardless. Because in 2020, a soldier killed himself after paying £13,000 for training with a property company that promises to help people become financially free, retire in 5 years. We've heard it all. Danny Butcher at 37, a man in the army. And this is why people say he preys on the vulnerable. Because a soldier is vulnerable. Yeah, they're a soldier. They can fucking, beat the hell out of you. But a lot of these men come back with crazy PTSD. They've seen things that they're not the same anymore. And soldiers, after putting themselves on the line for this country, find that they're not being treated fairly. I mean, in America, you see veterans discounts all the time, but I don't see it that much in the UK. So I'm sure soldiers come back thinking, what did I risk my life for? I remember when I was working for Tesco's as a delivery driver, I did a delivery to the Northolt RAF base. And as much as I don't agree with a lot of what the British Army does, I do say thanks to all of them for their service. Whenever I would deliver there, I'd always say thank you for your service, just know you're appreciated. I mean, we don't appreciate the RAF base in Cyprus being used for spying missions for Israel to bomb Palestinians. We don't condone what's going on over there, but thank you for your service. Well, the course was Samuel Leeds' course. His family said he had been led to believe he would make enough money from property deals and rental income to replace a wage or salary. Rest in peace to Danny Butcher. And he does speak about this in his interview with Poku Banks.
You are an influencer. You have thousands of views on YouTube. When you say things that are not true and you lie and you call me a fake guru.
You
I'm
have
gonna
lied
say,
way more
let's
than me.
go. Name one time I've lied.
Oh my days, this guy.
This is what happened. I hear you, Poke. Oh my days, this guy. This is where he thrives, bro. He's trained himself to be on the defensive. He has a response for everything. He's gonna lead you here, lead you there. But no, how many properties do you own, bro? How is me getting an $8,000 loan from my mum to buy a property course when I'm broke and fresh out of uni gonna make me retire in 5 years? Well, when I was hit that age, you're not gonna get a straight answer.
I can name many times you've lied. Do you want me to name them?
Your lies, my lies are nothing compared to your lies. Your
Name
lies,
one time.
your lies have you. I'm
You
sorry.
can't even give me
Hey,
one
hey,
time.
hey,
I can
hey,
give
hey.
you many you've lied.
Hey, rest in peace to Danny Butcher.
Yep.
My condolences to
So
his
name one
family.
time I've lied.
Your lies have.
Because you're very unfactual.
Your lies,
even then, you're very unfactual.
your lies, unfortunately, have committed. Do you think the suicide anything related to it?
I think that's an outrageous thing to say. There's no evidence for it. The BBC didn't say that. The Telegraph didn't say
the
that.
family are saying otherwise.
Okay, but I think it's an outrageous thing to say. The Telegraph said that there was no suggestion there's any link. You have
But,
no proof
no,
of
there's-
that. And
there's
it's
text, there's
disgusting.
text, there's
It's a
text,
disgusting thing to
there's-
say. It's despicable.
There's text,
It's
there's
disgusting. There's no link whatsoever. And again,
Look.
I know you like to go on emotion, and I know you like to, but there is no evidence for that whatsoever, and it's an outrageous. You should be ashamed for saying that.
No.
And you should be ashamed.
A genuine response to that, this is just me. This is how I analyze people. My bullshit detectors are going through the roof because there's no evidence of that. This first off should be, rest in peace to the soldier, man. Rest in peace to Danny Butcher. It's tragic that a soldier has killed himself after buying my course. I really hope it had nothing to do with him buying my course because I try and provide people with the best services I can. I genuinely believe that spending £13,000 on my course, I thought it was 12,000, bro. 13,000. That's what the article was saying. That it will give you all the skills you need to become a successful property investor. I believe everybody who buys my course is going to be primed to become a property investor. That is the response I would expect. Not there is no evidence. You get what I'm saying? But he's not wrong. There is no evidence that suggests that suicide was linked to Samuel Leeds' course. And we're not going to say that. Even though, as Poku Bank said, his family says otherwise. And there's this clip I'm going to show you from Austin and Samuel's interview that is it just exposes it. This is why you have to just have a simple conversation, let them speak, and you'll hear how ridiculous it is. Is anyone thinking normally who's not in a vulnerable position, not a vulnerable person, not somebody who's just come out of uni who thinks they know everything and thinks they found the ticket to retiring in 5 years, not a soldier who's got, we don't know if he had PTSD, but soldiers I would class as vulnerable people, soldiers who are off duty, not ethnic minorities, because ethnic minorities, people who've not been in the country for a long time are very easy prey. People who come from underprivileged backgrounds are very easy prey. Financial literacy is not commonly taught in underprivileged communities, hence why they're underprivileged.
Do you think you should be obliged to check the person if you're going to charge them 12k for mentorship, for example? Do you think you should ask the right questions like, look, how much money are you making? Is it from your savings? All these things. And if they say, look, I've got 8k in savings, and but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take out a loan of 4k, etc. Have you ever charged?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Just answer the question, bro. The answer should be no. Snake oil salesman, bro. The answer should be no straight away. Like, what is there to... Let me ask you a question. Let's see what this alone, the responses, the mannerisms. That's it.
A 17-year-old kid,
Yeah.
17, with no money, from a broken home, who'd flunked out of school, got no savings, and is not particularly smart.
Yeah.
17-year-old kid turned up in a cheap suit that he just bought from Mazda, which he'd put on his overdraft credit card, and his parents dropped him off at the event, and then he said, I want to sign up, and I want to pay thousands of pounds. Do you think that it would be unethical to take his money?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, that kid was me.
That kid was him. Okay. And again, snake oil salesman, we don't know if he's telling the truth. I mean, we're going to assume he's telling the truth here. Yeah. The exception doesn't make the rule. If I was in Samuel's position and a 16-year-old, I would do it for free. If I'm doing it for the love of the game, like he says, like, oh, I really want to help people, I'll do it for free. I'm not taking your money. I'll say, bruv, come along with me on this deal I'm going to do. Take a look at what I'm doing. Keep saving your money so you have more actual leverage. Because if you're not putting any money down, you're doing these no money down deals, you have no leverage, bro. You're only leverage. Samuel doing the no money down deal, he'll have leverage because he has experience in the property game. You who's just bought a course fresh out of uni, you don't have no leverage. That $8,000, that last $8,000 you have is your only piece of leverage. You're just chatting shit, akhi. Like, you're just chatting shit.
And my mentor took my money. And if my mentor said, you're vulnerable, won't take your money. No. I wouldn't be where I am.
Your mentor should have said, you're vulnerable. You know, I'm not going to take your money, but I'll help you out because I can see you really want to make something of yourself. But when your only goal is to sell courses and that's how you make money, you're not going to do that, are you? When that's your motives. You're not going to do that, are you? You're not going to do the right thing because you're going to do the unethical thing, which is take that 16-year-old's money. When a 16-year-old can't even own a property on paper, they can't have these things in their name. And this is Samuel's own words. He says in this video called The 16-Year-Old Landlord.
I sit down with the UK's youngest landlord. How did you get here today?
A train.
Or with a child?
Yeah, with a child train. So my mum takes me to all the viewings. I don't drive.
He's only 16 years old. He doesn't own any properties in his own name because that would be impossible. But he does control properties.
If the deal was going
It'll be impossible, bro. I don't know this kid's background. I don't know if his mum's, you know, in property, whatever. I've got a student who comes from an underprivileged background. They've just given you all of their student finance money. They can't afford to eat. They've come to me and said, Tankz, can you teach me how to scam? Because I'm in uni and I can't afford to eat. Absolutely ridiculous. Snake oil salesman, bruv. You're chatting shit.
And I think that's how I used to think about life as well. Because I know someone like me and you, we're hustlers, right? And we can make it through certain things. And obviously you're where you are today, but you've probably been through hell and back to get there. Yeah. The issue is some people don't survive that hill. And not everyone's you, Samuel. Do you know? And I think that 17-year-old kid...
Austin. I should have just let Austin keep speaking because Austin calls him up on it. I want to see where this gets to.
It could end up the other end of the stick where they could end up in a very, very dark place. And I don't want to say the word, but do you know what I mean? So I think that's where that comes into it. And even though you said that they took the money, would it have been harmful if you said, look, like it's too risky right now, you wait a year, save up some more funds and then charge them? That's the point I'm trying to make. Just so you don't end up like the other guy that could have been the 70-year-old you that ends up on a whole other end of the stick.
Maybe. I mean, we have versions of me constantly. Last year, I had a kid called Kane Harris, and he was 16 years old.
You're not answering the question, bro. You're just giving more exceptions to the rule. But anyway, snake oil salesman, bruv. Snake oil salesman. And as I've kept saying throughout this entire video, I think we're going to take a look at what this is because you know what I was going to do? I was going to register and join the seminar because he's in Dubai. The guy's in Dubai and he's still doing these seminars, all right? So clearly your actions match that of somebody who makes the majority of their money from peddling courses. You've gone to the peddling courses capital of the freaking planet. But let's see what he says. Come on, let's see.
If you're really smart, you're probably planning on buying a property this year in 2025. Now, you might be surprised to hear me say that.
There are a lot of people who are really smart, bro, but look at property prices. I would argue because of how connected the entire world is, someone who's smart wouldn't want to tie themselves down to a 30-year mortgage buying a property. I mean, that's in London. Obviously, outside of London, things are a lot cheaper. I'm born, raised, living in London. I'm in London right now. If you lot knew how much I'm paying a month for this studio, oh my God, it's a joke thing. So from my perspective, it's like getting on the property ladder for a property where I live is just like, bro, really? And with how uncertain the economy is now, the fact we've got all these recession indicators, am I going to get a mortgage on this property and it's going to go down in value? It's looking likely that that's going to happen.
Because everyone's scared at the moment. People are fleeing the country. We're in a cost of living crisis. Interest rates are up. Everything is going bad in the economy right now. But
that's not good for property.
Guess what? That means it's the best time to start investing in property. Why? Because right now you can buy properties from motivated sellers.
Wow.
It is a buyer's market right now. So instead of
motivated sellers, buyer's market, these are tactics to confuse you, right? And this is what snake oil salesmen do. They drop phrases that they know most people who are not into property are not going to understand. So it makes them seem extra smart. And usually when you're trying to sell something, you don't want to confuse the buyer. You want to make the buyer understand everything if you're doing honest selling. So a motivated seller, just Googling that quick, a homeowner eager or in need to sell their property quickly due to personal, financial or situational pressures. So you could have just said to not confuse people, people are eager to sell their properties right now, in your opinion.
So instead of waiting to buy property and wait. And as Warren Buffett said, when everyone's scared, that's when you should be greedy. I believe that property prices are going to go up a lot in the next few years. And the reason for that is because interest rates are high right now, but they're slowly coming down as the Bank of England lower base rate. And as interest rates go down, then more people can afford to get mortgages. And as more people can afford to get mortgages, more people will buy houses. Therefore, supply and demand, house price.
Interest rates will go down. That will be better for people attempting to get mortgages. Lowering interest rates is usually done when the economy needs stimulation. And lowering interest rates typically increases inflation. Wages ain't going up with inflation. And I think banks only lend you 4.5 times your salary, right? Your joint, if you're buying it with a partner, it's going to be 4.5 times your annual income. That's how much you can borrow on a property. A property price is going to keep going up. I do think so for the near future. But I think most of it's going to be because of inflation. Obviously in London where I live, there's demand. People always want to come and live here. But as AI grows, people are going to lose their jobs. There's going to be less and less jobs available. People are like, you get what I'm saying? I think less and less people are going to be able to actually buy properties, and they're all going to get bought up by BlackRock. All these, you know, when he did that interview with Nigel Farage, he is talking facts, how all these big corporations are going to buy up all the properties. That's what they want to do. But I studied economics and finance at uni, bro, and it's just, bro, you'll realize economists will say this, economists will say that, bro. It's just a guess. The economy is based on human behavior. Nobody can predict human behavior. Well, nobody can certainly predict human behavior. That's why being an economist is just, you know, making the best predictions you can, but nobody's always going to get it right. So he could be right. He could be spitting facts, but I don't think he is.
Will go up. Also, the Bank
But what he's doing is he's just trying to sell it to you like, oh, you have to get into property. Look, it's great. And I'm going to show you how.
of England are printing hundreds of billions of pounds. And what happens when they print money? What happens is, because of inflation, it pushes the prices of things up, mainly rents and property prices. So I believe properties are going to go up a lot. I think now is the time to start buying. You can do it strategically using other people's money. Now, one of the things that I had to do, because I started with very little money when I was quite young, I've been in property now for 17 years, was I had to borrow money. I had to raise finance. I had to do joint venture partners, but I believe that 50% of something is a lot better than 100% of nothing. So I've decided to put on a training program.
Wow.
This is an online program where I'm going to be sharing exactly and revealing how to raise finance, how to borrow money, how to get partners to buy a lot of properties. Because I tell you something, we're in the final cycle right now. BlackRock are investing billions of pounds into UK property.
Really?
Lloyds Bank are buying properties. Their aim is to have 50,000 residential buy-to-let properties in the UK.
No way!
The rich and powerful are buying up the houses, and this might be genuinely the last opportunity.
Wow.
Normal people.
Scarcity. Your last chance. It's time's running out. You have to buy my course right now.
People like you and I have got to buy properties. So this training program, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, how you can do the exact same thing too. And the best part is there's no catch, because the training program is complete.
What I'm doing, he just said in the Nigel Farage interview that he's selling properties. Wow. Oh my God, I have to register now. Availability. Oh no, it might not be available. Oh, it's available. It's available. Oh, it's available. I'm so tempted to, I mean, he's going to be hosting it himself, which is just ridiculous, bro. Like a Uzma and Lena type thing. That's why he was clearly defending them. But yeah, I was going to hold off on this video, wait for 6 hours and join the webinar, you know, and actually talk to him. But I don't want to talk to this snake oil salesman guy. But to be honest with you, bro, I don't really want to do it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Chungli, what do you think of this guy? Chungli said this guy's the devil. Chungli is not playing, fam. That's a bit mad. I wouldn't call him the devil, Chungli, but he's definitely unethical. Definitely sold his soul for this, bro, because my man's just chatting bare shit, bro. Like, he's chatting bare shit. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love to every single one of you guys watching. Thank you.